What you doing?
Putting up some dirt.
See that? That there is Arizona dirt. You might as well call it concrete. And we've been digging on this thing. We got the, let me show you here. See that where the dragging is? We drug that big old huge piece of concrete out. Then here is where we're going to plant the grape. That's why I ran into that other chunk of concrete. It's like every time I stick a shovel in the ground, I find another one of these. And we've been digging, trying to get the hole better. But what we need is, because it's going to be trellised from right here up, we're wanting to try to dig out that area and make for sure the dirt's a little bit more loose for it. So let me do that. You just don't have the weight to dig through it. What we really need is a pickaxe, but we don't have one, so just have to use a shovel. Anyway, we're going to keep doing this for a little bit, and once we get it to the next spot, we'll put on the video. Alright guys, so we've got the soil, as you can see right around here. We went up underneath the concrete a few inches so that the soil root ball there is going to be more nutritious, and then broke it up all the way down about 3 foot into the hole. Normally I would say don't worry about adding a lot of organic matter to your grapevines. They can grow in pretty bad soil, but the main problem for us is actually that's good, the air conditioner kicked off, is that the soil, the clay grabs water, but the sand part of the clay, lets it drain through. So our soil is kind of a conundrum. We have to throw some more organic in there just for water retention reasons. So all the way down here at the bottom, we're going to throw in some peat moss or coconut coir, and we have peat moss, so that's what we're going to use. But if you have a local source for the coir, I'd suggest that over peat moss, because it actually absorbs water a little bit faster and everything than peat moss. I think it would do a better job. And so, Heloise is already going to grab it for us. And so we're going to throw some peat moss down in the bottom, then mix in some normal dirt, because we don't want to, we're using the organic matter to retain moisture, then, kind of make it a rich soil that you need for your garden. Grapes don't really like that as much. So I'll pause the video while we find a little trowel and then be right back. Alright, so Heloise is breaking up some peat moss for the bottom of there, and then we're just going to take this shovel and just throw it in there and use the shovel. It's a lot more efficient. Try to mix some of the native soil in with it. Alright guys, so there it is. It's the Flame Seedless Grapes. And we need to do a check real quick of where the root ball is at.
Hold on a second, honey.
Oh, we're just checking for the root. So it needs to go down just an inch or so, maybe 2. And then, so right about there is what we're going to fill up to with some peat moss and some, I think that's going to work a little bit. And so, as you can see, this thing is begging for, begging for some dirt. It wants to grow so bad. Here, let me do it, Big On. We can hold that. So you just come in and just break this all up. You know, use good strokes. Breaks it up a little bit better than the little. Somebody does. Okay, wait. Soil. As you're finishing, so we're going to do this until we get it. I think the roots were right about there, and we're just going to keep mixing some peat with this native soil to create a moisture area that will retain the moisture in the ground a little better. So we won't bore you guys with all of it, but that's what you're doing for, if you're in Arizona, you need to put something to keep the moisture, because grapes like a lot of moisture. And we'll go ahead and bring that up and then bring you guys back in when we're planting. Alright guys, so make for sure you fill in, especially if you're in Arizona, but make for sure you really soak in the soil underneath here. It's very dry, and you know, as you saw those roots, they're really wanting to get in there. So now that we've mixed up native soil with a lot of peat moss, we're going to, this is a little bit, probably about 2/3 peat moss to native, 1/3 native soil. Then the next area where it's coming up towards the top will be more like half and half, and then right at the top we won't even use peat moss, we'll just fill in with native soil. Maybe just a little peat moss to help it drain the water down a little bit. But as you can see, we're just filling this up. Gonna let it soak in for a little while before we continue, and then we'll be bringing you guys back in. Alright guys, so as you can see, we kind of had to skip a couple steps just because of trying to get it done before it gets dark. But so we let that water drain down a little bit. We positioned the grapevine so it's in the right spot, and then moved some of the good soil that we just created up to hold the vine in, and then filled in this big area over here with some dirt. Now we're putting in some more peat moss to act as a moisture retention, and then we'll go ahead and fill in the rest of the soil, and we'll show you kind of how it looks when it's finished. So just on this area here, 50% peat moss, 50% soil is probably a good ratio of soil to peat moss. And try to mix it in a little bit with your hand if you can, and it'll hopefully do real well. We'll keep you guys apprised, obviously, with our weekly updates and everything, so you can see how our plant is doing. And but that moisture retention is really critical. I'll do it, babe. Just some more dirt. Anyway, I'll go grab the shovel and come back to you guys as soon as we got it filled in. Alright guys, so as you can see, the once we filled it in, we've checked it for drainage, and the water just kind of is sitting up on top of that clay, sand, crappy dirt we have. So what we're doing is we're putting some organic garden soil in there, and then just kind of using a hand trowel and mixing it. See how the dirt's so dry underneath, but it's just not getting past the clay. Mixing it down into where we have the peat moss and stuff, so that we have some drainage into this drainage reservoir, the basin, and then we can hopefully have more drainage and it will work better. So we'll go ahead and finish that and then bring you guys back in to do another water test. Alright guys, so there's what it looks like right now. I have no idea what time it is, but so we're gonna watch, and it's already draining a little bit because I brought it up, I don't know if you can see it, but right up into this area here where it's actually almost at the surface of the ground, and so before it spilled out anymore, I went ahead and stopped. So it's already went down about a centimeter, so I think it's draining pretty well right now. Heloise is over watering our orange tree, and we've amended and amended, so dirt on the top of that. Oops, sorry about that. But it's just one of those, we didn't put enough organics in it when we first dug the hole, and it's always been a slow drainer. But the orange tree's starting to look better, so hopefully it's busting its roots through all that dirt and all that clay and all that organic stuff we put on top. You know, it all gets down into the soil, so eventually it should be okay soil. And then we're going to go ahead and water our grapefruit tree up in the front. So we'll come back and show you the grape in about 30 minutes or so. Check to them. Alright, so here is the grape. I would say it's draining really well. This has been about 20 minutes or so, and unfortunately it's going to get too dark for you guys to see it here in a few more minutes, but we've already went through most of the water. It's just kind of like a little bit of water sitting on top of the dirt, so I think that's a good thing, and we'll be soaking it more for the next few days. Heloise is scaring the chickens. They're getting ready for bedtime, and she wanted to go grab the eggs. Poor girls. Anyway, so guys, that's the planting of the grapevine, and remember, like the video, comment, share, subscribe, and share it with all your Facebook and Google Plus and on Twitter friends, so that we can share how to grow food out in the desert. Because I don't know if you have ever looked, but take a look at Google Maps sometime and see how very few people, there's the eggs,
Beautiful. How
few people are actually growing food in their backyard, their front yard, even in little pots. Very few backyards. If you use the satellite view on Bing or Google Maps, you see very few people are actually growing food. So we need to try to get this to more people so that they can grow food. I'm not gonna get on a soapbox, but anyway, take care guys, and I will bring you guys in on another video probably tomorrow. I'm gonna probably harvest some arugula seeds. Take care guys, and remember to subscribe, share, all that good stuff.